Hi. Okay, so you're gonna join me as I try to do my new sketchbook's first page. So what I'm planning to do is a scrapbook style, and I can actually show you this. I've done it before. If I can find it, it's the page before this one. But I really like how it's colorful and fun, and I usually am really indecisive about what I want to do for my first pages. In fact, the first page to this sketchbook that I just finished is still blank. But what I'm planning to do is I'm going to sketch it out on paper, that way I'm less scared about messing up, and I'm going to glue them in. So we already have 3 characters done. If you can't tell, I'm doing monochrome. So yeah. You're just gonna join me for that. And if you can't tell, my sketchbooks go through hell, so. But welcome, and once I figure out how to get my camera set up so that you can watch me draw, we're gonna start. Okay, so I have a really makeshift setup here that doesn't look that good. And I know the quality's bad, but I just kind of hope you all enjoy watching my process. So I sped it up so that it will be less slow, and less monotonous, so that you don't have to watch me think of what the heck I'm gonna do next, and instead you can just see what I do next. But I started off with a wine red color, and I'm gonna use pink on it later, but let's just preface this with any characters I create probably will not be drawn again. You probably will not see them again. If you see them again, I really liked the character. I'm actually kind of upset with how I did the hair on this character. As you'll see, I did 3 tufts, and it makes it look a lot more sloppy. I also was really sloppy with the shading on the hair for the lining. And overall, it was just the least favorite character that I did during this. She's still okay. I'm not gonna say she's horrible, but I do think there are improvements that could be made. And I think the only time you will see me ever draw a character again is to improve them, which is kind of sad. I am that one person who never draws characters twice. But I've been trying to remedy that, so call me out if you are like, I haven't seen this character in a while. Call me out. I'm pretty bad with that. If you can't tell, this is my first long-form video, and it's completely unscripted due to ADHD brain. And one thing I didn't like about this design was the, rips and stitches. I don't know why I did that. And overall, I just feel like the character could have been so much better. And there was a lot of room for improvement. But I mean, that's what happens when you don't sketch and you just draw. And I think that's also kind of freeing in a way, because then you don't have to worry about messing up such a pretty sketch, and you can just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Another reason that I'm not doing this in my sketchbook is because these markers really bleed. And it's actually kind of frustrating. It makes it really hard to work with them. I have to take out a folder, one of those plastic school folders, place it in between the pages. In fact, in my old sketchbook that I'm using to draw on top of, multiple of my artworks were ruined when I first tried these markers. It's really sad, actually. And it really upset me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out and glue them into the pages after I've created all my designs. So yeah. So for the next color, I chose this, I think it was called Deep Violet. And I was like, Deep Violet, and then I chose some lighter shade of purple, or it was a pale pink. It was one or the other. But I originally was trying to draw a man, and then it just ended up looking like a child, a very androgynous character, and I was like, you know what? That's a they. I had a whole dialogue where I was just struggling to find out what I was gonna do with this character. I mean, I don't often get attached to characters, but I did like the hair on this character, so I didn't want to leave them storyless, so to say, or I wanted them to have at least a little bit of identity. So this is a ghost child. Their name is, I don't have a name for them. You guys name them. I'm bad with names. I overuse names, and then other times my names are really weird or just really basic. No in between. So you all name them. This is a little ghost child. I don't know what they haunt. I mean, like, probably a playground or something. What if they had, like, an accident on a playground? I know that's really sad, and I sound super happy about it, but I'm like, it's just, like, a cool idea. What if this little child had an accident on a playground? Yeah, they're a ghost. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how I feel about the shirt design I did, but I was like, I didn't know what else to do. I was stumped. And it wasn't working. So this is a light pink I chose. I think it looks really good. I think it kind of mutes out the dark purple, and I like it that way personally. I understand if you don't, it's just artistic preference. But next you're gonna see as I just sit there and struggle to think of what I'm gonna draw, because I'm tired of drawing people at this point. And so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna draw a fruit. But what fruit? I ended up drawing, actually, I'll just let you see, but I actually wasn't very satisfied with how this came out. Any of it. None of it really was that great to me. I was kind of disappointed. It's a really lackluster first page, but it's helping me get over my first page, like, obsession of it being perfect. But as you'll see, I struggled with the marker. I ended up actually having to blank it out with that color. It was originally supposed to be the outline color. I ended up not being able to do yellow seeds because when I say these markers bleed, they bleed. I mean, like, they bleed. And it's actually really frustrating. But I went through and I colored in seeds with a darker color, which I would then use at the top for shading. With the leaves, I actually had to end up using black as the outline color, which I really hated. I hate outlining with black for these colorful stuff, unless I'm using sticky notes as my base, which is what you saw in the beginning. These were sticky notes. And I kind of wish I'd done it that way instead, but I do think that this was a great experiment, and I'll probably use the style again, because it was still fun. And I was able to draw bigger, which I personally enjoy. But as you'll see, I'm about to use the darkest green in the whole pack of markers. The whole pack of markers, that is the darkest green. And you'll see me try to outline with a lighter green. And this is where I just get really frustrated. And I'm looking and trying to see if there's any other green. And I have to use black. And I hate using black. But I decided to just embrace it and make some leaf texture and just try to make it look like a strawberry. It's not a very strawberry-looking strawberry. It's very disappointing. It's very mediocre. And so, at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna cut them out. That'll be that. I don't know what else to do. So you're gonna see me cut them out now, and we're gonna move on. So if you can see, in that slight second, the strawberry really bled through onto my old sketchbook. But I'm just cutting these out. I'm trying to be clean. I end up messing up her hair even worse with the cutting. It's so infuriating. Because, like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I do all these tufts? And then I ended up just, like, butchering them in the cutting process. And it was a mess. And I was just so sad. I was like, you were already my least favorite, but now you're even more infuriating. So yeah, but maybe I'll redesign her. She's making me upset just looking at her in the recording. It's like, why? I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of Pink, and this is the first Pink character I've ever made that I don't like. But at first I was like, you know, like, I was gonna make a guy. I planned to make a guy, because I usually do blue for girls, pink for guys, because I think it's funny. Really, that's it. I think it's funny. You'll see me do the thumbs up. No, that was not a thumbs up. That was not good. Picking up all the scraps, and then... This is still so frustrating. She is my favorite. I wish I had drawn her on camera. I had just started her outline, and I was like, I should really draw her on camera. I should make this into a video. And after I drew her, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this into a video. And so I'm really mad that I didn't record her. But I also kind of butchered the buns on her with the cutting process, and it made me sad. You'll see that I get rougher with my cuts because I'm getting exasperated and annoyed by it. And this is the most sped up part, by the way. Like, out of all of them, I sped this one up the most, and it's still butt nugget slow. Which I think says a lot about how tedious this task is. This is, like, the one downside to this art medium of scrapbooking and, like, using drawings from a different paper. This is the one downside. But I only have 2 drawings left. It's the strawberry and another girl I did off camera. So you might have noticed that, like, the purple and the green girls were not done on camera. Oh wait, I forgot. My little androgynous child. I forgot about them. But I did 2 of these off camera at school. Because, that's when I decide to do art. School. And so one of them was mimicking an art style from a book series I never read. But she was my own character. And then the other one was, I don't know what her story is, man. She reminds me of Catra from She-Ra, but she isn't Catra, so it's weird. I wanted to do a pushback for her at first. I actually have some failed drawings of it, but eventually I got the trick for it. One thing about me is I really love drawing new characters in each color. Like, I have assigned colors for these characters, and it's like, why? I don't know. It actually reminds me of the style of, what is it called? It's the one about, like, Persephone and Hades, like that comic, Heroes of Olympus. I don't know what it's called, but that one comic that has them all monochrome. I never read it. I never even liked the art style, but it kind of looks like that influenced me, which is funny because I hated it, actually. But I mean, what really influenced me was when my friends was doing it, which, I mean, they probably were influenced by it. And I mean, no hate to the artist or anything, it's just not my favorite art style. I feel like everyone has their own taste, and that is all I'm going to say. Because my art style is not going to be everyone's art style, like, cup of tea, and that's okay. I feel like a lot of people take offense to someone saying, that's not my cup of tea. If someone says it's not their cup of tea, that just means it's not their cup of tea. It doesn't mean it's not good. Because someone can say, oh, I don't like Eminem as a rapper, but that doesn't mean he's not a good rapper. We all know that he is good enough to have awards, so obviously that must mean he's good to a lot of people. So, not trying to hurt anyone's feelings if I say an art style isn't my cup of tea. Just want to make that clear. Again, my janky setup is going to screw all of us over in a couple of minutes, but I'm trying to piece together where I'm going to put each of these drawings. It doesn't stick. This is not the design I go for. That double thumbs up meant nothing. I was lying to all of us. Let's be honest here. So, I get the page open. I'm actually having trouble with the paper. This one, all of the other pages are perforated, and so is this page, but it's connected to the pink one in a weird way. Also, I did a Pi Day drawing on Pi Day, of course. I don't know why people like Pi Day. Here's my almost dead glue stick that I now have no glue sticks after this one because it died on me, like, before I fully even glued any of these in. But you can see that I'm being really indecisive if I put enough glue, because I really like this drawing and I do not want her damaged. She's my favorite. She's so pretty. I love her so much. I don't know why. She doesn't even have a name, but I love her. I'll probably draw her again. Let me not promise things. I make no promises. But the next one is the cat character. That's, like, kind of like Catra. And then I decided against putting her there, despite that being the original plan. And instead I glue in the pink character, which no one likes. I don't like her. She's ugly. And then you aren't going to be able to see the rest. Isn't that so great? I glue in the Catra character, and then I glue in the child, and the purple one, and the strawberry, and you're not going to be able to see any of it, because I'm just so good at this recording thing, you know, I'm such a great content creator. I'm being so sarcastic, please don't take me seriously. On a serious note, I was kind of content with how it came out, and I think I show a full view, but I also show you the dead glue stick. Yeah, I do show a full view. And I think it looks good. I think it looks overall really cute, really good. And yeah,